How's 2026 treating you up in Parry Sound so far?
Well, it's been great. I just got home, actually, from the Jade Eagleson tour. So I haven't spent much time at home in 2026, but it's been great, and it's nice to be home for a little bit now.
That was going to be my first question to you, asking about the Jade Eagleson tour. We actually just chatted with him like right before the London show, so towards the tail end of the tour. What were some of the highlights for you?
It was great just being able to spend time with Jade. You know, he's been an artist that I've looked up to for a long time, and getting the chance to hit the road and be a part of that tour with him, like his first North American headline tour, and being a part of that, it felt like an honor a little bit to be included in that, and for him to think of me and to bring me out on the tour and be on the bus with all the guys. And that was probably like the biggest highlight, but also getting to play new cities that I've never been to before, and like getting into those markets was nice too.
Stopped at a lot of cities across Canada, ended up back closer to home for you in Ontario. But you guys performed in a bunch of spots in the United States as well. Was that the first time you've kind of hit those markets in the U.S.?
I had played a show in Illinois in November, and I had played a show in Vegas in December, actually, which was fun. But yeah, like that was my first time like being in Washington State and Oregon and Minneapolis, like Minnesota as well. So that was good to get into that too, and like especially Minnesota being so close to Canada too, like that, having that kind of that market as well is nice.
Yeah, we spent some time in St. Paul, Minnesota a few years ago, and I got that vibe too. They're very Canadian-like over there.
They're very nice there. They are very nice, yeah. But everybody was nice, like all the fans and everybody, and you get to meet new people, and that's the best part. Like one of my favorite things about playing shows is, well, obviously getting to play music, but also being able to meet new people and make new fans.
When I was talking to Jade about that, you guys had already played a bunch of shows in the U.S., and he was like just blown away by the people that were coming out to those shows that knew all the words to the songs. And that's just the power of connection of music these days, right? There's no borders to music.
No, exactly. And it was really cool sitting side stage or just listening kind of to the set. We were in places that I don't think Jade had played much, and there were fans screaming the words to his songs. And I'm like, that's the dream. I mean, like that's the best thing, and getting to see that for him too was really cool.
Absolutely. Not only did you warm up the stage for Jade on the tour, but I understand you also shared the stage with him as well, and you were wearing some interesting attire, a life jacket, and you were holding a fishing pole. So tell me the story there.
Yeah. So that was my end of tour prank. I was so excited for that the entire tour. I was like, it took literally everything inside of me not to tell people that I was going to do that. And I was so excited for it because he called me up to sing More Drinking Than Fishing with him. That was where the life jacket and the fishing rod came from, with the bucket hat and everything. And it was a good laugh. The fans loved it too. And I was just really excited I was a little nervous. I was like, I'm going to look like an idiot up there, but it was just so fun, and I loved it.
I wasn't sure if that was like an every show kind of thing. I didn't read too much into it. So it sounds like it was like a celebration at the end of the tour. A little bit of fun.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of fun. I wore normal clothes the 13 out of 14 dates. Yeah, except for Peterborough. Yeah.
Nice. Right on. So let's go back a few more months. So I think it was October 10th, 2025, specifically. Your debut EP dropped, which is called Somewhere in a Small Town. So tell me about this collection of songs, Sully.
Yeah, so these songs were songs that I had written either in 2023, 2024, start of 2025. Those songs like definitely have a reflection of how I grew up, I'd say. Growing up in Parry Sound, like the small town vibe, and being from Parry Sound. I mean, I think some of the lyrics, especially in Somewhere in a Small Town, like the title track there, like it's got some references to Parry Sound. It's a population of 7,000 people in the wintertime, and it goes up to around like 50,000 in the summertime, and then drops off again in the fall. So that song was kind of about that. And then, you know, the other songs, like the notable ones for me, like Think of Me is my favorite song that I've written, and I wrote that with Bradley Hale, and that song is really special to me. And then the other songs, like Youth was my first ever co-write and the first song that I put out, and I wrote that with Owen Riegling, and that talks a bit about the type of person he is too, because he took the time to write with a 16-year-old that nobody knew. So that was really awesome that he took the time to do that. And we wrote that in 2023, so that was coming up on 3 years now. All those songs are kind of just personal experiences and have a bit of a connection to me for sure.
How did it feel to play those new songs live? Because I'm sure you played a lot of the new stuff right from your EP, and you got right on the road and got to perform them right away, right?
Yeah, even when they were unreleased too, we had them in the set and wanted to get those songs out there. And it's really cool to see, the progression of how many people know the words to your songs. We put our Rally Around, especially because that song did so well at radio, that, at the start of the summer, there'd be a couple people who knew the words. And then, as we played more shows and as that progressed throughout the summer and even in the fall and into this year as well, as soon as that song comes on, the phones go up and everybody's singing the words. And that's one of the coolest things is getting to see people sing the words to a song that you've written that you didn't think people would really know. And to have that moment with the fans and have that moment with other people is really cool.
Yeah, I guess that would always be a good indicator for an artist when the fans start pulling their phones out to record it, because they want to show their loved ones or show whoever their friends when they get back home from the show, right?
Yeah, and even some of the unreleased songs that we've played in the set, even on this tour, people knew the words to, and I was like, oh man, that's cool, and I don't know where they're hearing that song unless they've been to other performances, but it's a cool feeling.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about who helped you make this EP. How'd this EP come together, Sully?
Yeah. So I started working with a label in Toronto called Partners Record Label, and they distribute through Universal Canada and Virgin Music in the States, and started working with a management company too, who has been great. And then my producer, Derek Hoffman, he's done such a good job. He's such a creative person, and he's unreal, and it's so fun to watch him do what he does. We have a personal relationship outside of music too. So we've gotten to know each other, and I'd say we're good friends, and it's always good to get to spend time with him. And he's really been able to pull my personality and, my influences and the kind of sound that I want and put them into the songs, which is great. And then all the writers, I mentioned Owen and I wrote Rally Around with Parker Gray and Derek Hoffman, and all the songs, the co-writers and being able to write a song that feels like me and be able to release that song and share that moment with them is pretty cool.
Sounds like it was very country music, very, very Nashville themed in terms of the, kind of a communal process of writers working together.
Yeah, and it's great. All the writers that were on this project and all the writers that are, in the songs to come, we've developed relationships, and it's nice, to have that circle, to have those people who you can kind of walk into a room and, they know what you want, and all kind of go into the same common goal is to write a great song. And obviously, writing with new people too, and it's great to get to know them. It's always fun to write with new people, and I've also been working on writing songs by myself, because that's how I started, and it's always good to work on that muscle.
Absolutely. So let's look ahead, I guess. So we're dialing into one show that you have coming up in particular, the biggest show on the East Coast, basically, in country music, the Cavendish Beach Music Festival, Prince Edward Island, July 9th to 11th. How's it feel to be included on that bill? I've never been to the Cavendish Festival, but we've been to SWOMP Festival the past couple years, and Cavendish PEI is it's like a postcard, man. It's gorgeous. So how does it feel to be on that bill? I'm
very excited. There's some amazing artists, and I'm really excited to see Tucker Wetmore. I got to see him in Montreal last year at Lasso, but I'm very excited to see him again and see those different artists that are on the bill. And yeah, definitely excited to be out there. I've been to New Brunswick, but I've never been to PEI, so I'm also very excited just to kind of go out east and experience that. I've heard really, really good things about PEI, and I'm very excited just to not only be a part of that festival and have the chance to play out east, but also just kind of experience that and get to see what PEI is all about.
So another one of the headliners, I'm not sure if he's playing the day you're playing. I think Tucker Wetmore's playing the same day you're playing, right? He's the headliner that day?
Yeah.
But another artist is Hardy. I think he's headlined one of the days. And you got to play on the same bill as Hardy at Boots and Hearts last year, right?
Boots and Hearts, yeah. Yeah, that was cool too. And it's funny because I talk so much about my influences, and one of my biggest influences is Riley Green. And it's funny because whenever people ask, how did you get into songwriting and who were your influences with that? And I talk about my top three, because I started writing songs 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. And my biggest influences, I'd say, were Hardy with that A Rock album.
Mm-hmm.
and then the Morgan Wallen Dangerous double album, and then Riley Green was another big one. So to be able to like look up to those artists and writers as well, because Hardy's an unreal writer, to be able to share, be on the same bill and be on the same festival as those guys that I've looked up to is kind of a dream come true.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if that's a bit of a surreal feeling for you, because like you said, you were just in your room writing songs not that many years ago,
Yeah.
as a teenager, and now you're sharing stages with them at some of the biggest festival stages in Canada,
yeah.
Right? There's no doubt with that. So how does that make you feel, man? That has to be surreal.
It is surreal. It's unreal. Like things have escalated so quickly, but it's been so cool just to I'm just a fan of country music, so I'll pop out and catch other people's sets and watch them. And it's always good to learn too. I've realized that like watching other artists is how you learn how to interact with the crowd and how to have a good stage presence and be that guy. Cause you're not only just playing songs, you're also putting on a show. So it's cool to see and like pick little things from artists that I enjoy and that I've looked up to and kind of not copying them, but seeing a way that I can do what they do in my own kind of way on stage as well.
Going back to the Jade Eagleson tour, that had to have been kind of like touring musician 101.
Yeah, and like I said, like I've looked up to him for so long and getting to spend time with him and watch his set and watch his band, and they are so good. They're so good. So it's so cool to get the chance to like see that show 14 times and pick little things each time and be able to figure out like, just watching that. And it's been so fun to just like have that moment for me, especially like because it was my first tour, being able to share a stage with such a great artist and such a great human being, like off the stage too. So it was great for me. So
you got your debut EP is out. You've already toured this year. You got a bunch of festival shows coming up this year. So what else is in store for you in 2026, Sully? Can fans expect more new music, or what's in the works?
Definitely some more new music. I've got a single coming out on February 20th, so on Friday. It's called Put It On Me. It's a bit of a different vibe than the songs that are already out. It's a bit it's more swingy, and I always say that if I could dance, I would dance to this song. And so I'd say, yeah, I'm very excited for people to hear this song, and I've played it live and had it in the set for a while, and I'm very, very excited that it's recorded and it's ready to go, and it's going to be out in the world soon. Well,
we'll look forward to that. We'll look forward to seeing you on stages across Canada and the U.S., but we'll stay tuned to sullyburrows.com for all the updates. Sully, thanks so much for taking time with me today, man.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time for this too. It's been great.